Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed video today, where I am back in Willow Creek doing another renovation. And my goodness, where do I even start? This house. So I mean, I am playing this game in my personal time, like I'm playing with the families and stuff, and I got to the point where I was going to start playing with the Spencer Kim Lewis household. And I mean, I couldn't quite bring myself to play in the house, you know, in its vanilla style. Like, I really just needed to give it a renovation. It is the most unusual house I have ever had to renovate, and probably the most difficult I've ever had to renovate as well. And I mean, first and foremost, when I thought about renovating it, I was like, you know what, I am going to do an Art Deco renovation of this house because it actually has some kind of Art Deco features or qualities to it already. It's more of a modern style right now, but there are some kind of Art Deco features, particularly the front, how it has those kind of curved floors, and on the side there is a diagonal window. And both of those features are kind of, I guess, kind of typical of Art Deco styled houses, you know, like classic Art Deco houses or buildings in general. And also it has a flat roof, so I mean, that kind of just fit the Art Deco theme as well. So I didn't have to put any, you know, roofs on the building. So I mean, yeah, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it an Art Deco renovation and see what I can put together. Now, I have been doing renovations with limited packs, and that's mostly to kind of help myself because I haven't really built in The Sims 4 for a while. This is, you know, I haven't played it for a good long time, and I haven't really done much building in it at all recently, not much this year at all. And then I think I did a little bit last year, but before that I hadn't really touched it for a few years. So I was a bit rusty in the build department, and so I felt really overwhelmed with the amount of content that The Sims 4 has. Now, I do have a lot of the packs, I don't have all of them, but even then, like, I still feel quite overwhelmed. And so I wanted to, well, my kind of goal, well, idea of with the renovations is to limit the amount of packs I use for my own personal benefit, but also for others as well, just to make the builds a bit more accessible, because not everyone owns all of the packs, and so it's kind of a win-win situation. So I did try to renovate this house with a limited amount of packs. So I kind of, initially I selected a few of the packs that I thought had the most obvious kind of Art Deco styles to them. So I think initially I chose high school years, because that's definitely got some Art Deco stuff in it. I chose Discover University, because these windows I'm placing right now actually came with that pack, and they look really Art Deco. I chose Spa Day for one of the tall doors. I chose Get Together, and then I chose a couple of the newer kits, so the Modern Luxe kit and the Deco to the Max kit. So I started renovating it with those packs in mind. Oh, and also Vintage Glamour. So I started decorating it with those packs in mind, or renovating it with those packs. And it just was so difficult. I felt like even then I was still quite limited in the, I guess, the Art Deco style that I could build. Things were just getting repetitive really quickly, and there were certain objects that I really wish I could use, but I wasn't able to just because of the pack limitation. And I got to about, in the first renovation, I got to about, I will say, maybe halfway through. So I probably got to, like, renovated 1.5 floors, because this is a 3-story build, and so I got to about 1.5 floors, and I was just like, you know what, I'm struggling with this and I'm not having fun. So I'm going to just do an unlimited pack renovation, and I'm glad I did, because I was able to really dive into the content that this game has and really just utilize as much of what I consider to be Art Deco furniture as much as possible. Now, the type of Art Deco style that I'm going for, it's more of like a high-end Art Deco, but I also wanted to keep in mind that, you know, the original house is very colorful, and it comes across as kind of like, I guess the family is, you know, a bit of a creative bunch, and so their house is quite colorful and bright, a little bit quirky. And so I wanted to maintain that vibe, and so you will see me, even though it comes across as quite high-end, like I use a lot of gold and luxury items and stuff like that, the color schemes are really vibrant. I did try to keep like a main color scheme throughout the house, but then the bedrooms and stuff, I really wanted to play around with the different type of Art Deco styles that I could put together. So in terms of styles, like I mean, the main kind of color scheme throughout the house is blue, pink, and gold. And I did want to play around with, you know, just random colors here and there, just to, I guess, make things a bit more fun. But that's the main kind of theme that I was going for. And there's also, which is quite typical of Art Deco as well, there's also a lot of geometric patterns and some symmetry, not much, but geometric patterns and I guess, yeah, hardwood floors. And really, what I really tried to do was have kind of deep, kind of rich colors. The pinks and the blues are a bit kind of almost pastel, and that's just the type of color swatches that are available in this game. I wanted to go a lot deeper in some of the colors, especially the blues. I really wish there were more swatches in like the ruby, like deep kind of, not ruby, like emerald greens that came with the, oh, I can't remember the name of it, the jewelry pack. I'm just going to call it that. So there's a couple of emerald green swatches that came with that pack. And I actually used those couches, the swatches that came with the couches in that pack in this living room. You can see I've got the Dream Home Decorator couches in here at the moment, or the sectional sofas, and I replaced them because they weren't, like, I really wanted a green in here, but they weren't the type of green that I was looking for. And so I had a quick look through the catalog again, and I managed to find like a really deep emerald colored swatch for the couches. And yeah, so you'll see me replace those very soon. The footage, I do apologize, it is quite disjointed, just because this build took me so long, and I can tell you that I've been working on it on and off for about a week. Last weekend I spent a good probably 8 to 10 hours on this house, including my initial renovation that didn't work out so well. But then I started again with all the packs, and I was able to get through it a bit quicker. But then just chipping away at it, you know, bits and pieces throughout the week. There were a couple of times where I renovated a bedroom and then I didn't like it anymore, so I came back and swapped it. I came back and changed it. I think I was just thinking of swap because I just swapped the couches for the ones that I end up keeping. So yeah, it did take me a really long time. I only just finished it yesterday, and the footage is, I tried to put it in order as much as possible, but like I mentioned that I cut a lot of it out. So you would notice that I've kind of done the landscaping outside already, and I haven't put that in the footage because I do change the landscaping quite a bit. When I initially did the landscaping, I tried to keep it the same as, or more or less the same as what was there, or kind of continue on the type of landscaping that this house already had. And in the end, I didn't really like it, and I wanted to do, I mean, for the house to kind of look the way it does, and then have the old like style of landscaping, it just looked weird. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the landscaping last and focus on the interior for now. So yeah, you will see some kind of completed landscaping outside, but that does change towards the very end of the video. But yeah, this was just such a struggle, and I was feeling just kind of annoyed when I was editing it as well, just because it, like, even though I was using all the packs, I still struggled a bit with, and I think that's just because I'm not used to this game yet. I still struggled a bit with swatches, getting colors to look right together, figuring out what clutter objects to use, and all that stuff. So I've kind of cut out as much as I can in terms of me looking through the catalog, me kind of repeatedly decorating the same place. Like I kind of just cut to the final version of it per se. But like I did, there are a few places in this build where I revisited it quite a few times just because I wasn't quite happy with what I initially settled with. But I have to say this living room came together very, very quickly, and I think that's because I just had the, you know, I was working with a full tank here in terms of my inspiration and my creativity, because this was the very first room that I decorated when I decided that I was going to use all packs, and I just had so much fun going through the catalog, picking out all the stuff and just using whatever I wanted, really filling it out and having it look the way I wanted it to. And one thing I've kind of figured out, or my kind of preference in terms of decorating and clutter and stuff, is that I don't like my builds to be super cluttered. Like, I do love clutter and I love, you know, clutter pieces and stuff, but I just have a hard time doing full on, like, cramped in every nook and cranny kind of cluttering. I just can't get it to look right. And I've seen other people do it, and, you know, they do a really, really good job at it, but I can't emulate that. So, and to be honest, when I look at the type of cluttering that I do, it's actually cluttering that I prefer. So I kind of do minimal cluttering, and I feel like it's kind of appropriate for a house like this that's so big and has more of a high-end feel to it, because if it had so much or too much clutter everywhere, then it would, in my opinion, it would look a bit drab. And so, because yeah, there's a couple of instances, particularly when I renovated the master bedroom, I kind of cluttered that up a lot, and I didn't like it. Like, it just looked it didn't look tidy. So that's when I just ended up redoing that bedroom entirely. But you won't see that footage of me doing the initial clutter. But yeah, long story short is that I just prefer minimal clutter. And I think I will do some, like, heavily cluttered builds, but I think I might save those for Sims who actually, in my opinion, Sims who I think are kind of messy or would have a lot of stuff. And maybe for kind of households that I renovate, I haven't quite figured out who yet, but I do have more of a cluttered build coming up in the for the garden essence. I've actually turned that into a bunch of units, and one of those units is quite cluttered and grungy. But in general, I'm probably just gonna do kind of minimal clutter. So in terms of the build here, so I've pretty much done the entryway and I've done the living room, and now I've moved on to the library. So you would have noticed that I took out the open ceiling, because this was kind of like a 2-story room, this room here. So I took that out, and that's because I removed that, almost like that extension where one of the master bedrooms was behind the kitchen. I took that off completely, and I just added an extra bedroom above this room here, and that's actually where the master bedroom's going to be. So yeah, so there's no kind of I guess atrium styled rooms in this building anymore, and that kind of felt a bit appropriate, because even though it is like a kind of a grand Art Deco house, it's not like an Art Deco mansion really. It's just like a big house really, like a big family house that is rich, because the Spencer Kimball Lewis family do have quite a bit of money. They have a really expensive house, and yeah, so I guess it's just a big expensive rich house, but it's not quite a mansion. So yeah, you can see kind of the color schemes that are coming out now. So we've got the blue, and we've got some pink here. I think there's not as much pink in the library here. but there's definitely pink in the living room, and you'll see more blue and pink appear throughout the build just as things go on. So I've kind of, yeah, I think I go with the gold lamp there. But I just really love the Art Deco kind of furniture that came with high school years. I think it's really pretty. It's got some really nice swatches as well. Just a bummer that some of them weren't quite as, I guess, deep as I wanted. Like some of the blues and stuff are still a bit too light for my liking. I think I should actually mention as well just the rooms that I haven't really shown much footage of me decorating. So I did talk a bit about how I've had to cut a bit of footage out of this, but I didn't include the kitchen because like I said, there's a few rooms that I renovated. Even this here, what I'm doing here, like I'm adding all this clutter above the bookshelves here. This I do not keep, I take it away, but this is just to give you an idea of what I was doing and kind of how terrible I am at clutter and how I just didn't like the look. But the kitchen was just another situation where I did an initial renovation and then I didn't quite like it, so I came back and did it again. So you will see me the kitchen footage will be me, I guess, renovating my renovation, which sounds a bit ridiculous, but that's what it is. So yeah. Now in terms of referencing, I did look at a lot of Art Deco interior. There seems to be a bit of more of a contemporary Art Deco revival type of style that I was looking at in terms of references and where to get ideas for color schemes. And that's where I noticed there's like a lot of really rich, deep colors that are in this kind of contemporary Art Deco style. And so yeah, I looked at a lot of reference photos. One other thing that's really difficult about this house is that the rooms are really, really big. They're not, I don't think they're some of the biggest rooms. I think, is it Oakenstead? I think Oakenstead actually has bigger rooms than this house, but this house still has really big rooms, and it was a bit of a struggle for me to kind of fill them out and make them look useful. But so you can see in the living room, I put like a raised platform for the living room furniture to go on, and then in the dining room here, I tried to have another platform for the dining table, but that didn't work out very well, so I took that out. I was able to do like a little feature with the cabinets here where I just pulled them all the way up the wall, had them surround the fireplace, and of course I put a mirror behind the fireplace too. Here I'm just kind of trying to figure out what fireplace I actually wanted to use. I think I do stick with this one one from Vintage Glamour. No, actually I don't, I change it back. But it's a bit of a shame actually. The Vintage Glamour pack, while I do really like it and I like the furniture that came with it, the swatches are there's something else. When I say like deep kind of deep colors for Art Deco, I don't think that pack is the best representation of like good Art Deco color schemes. High school years, yes, and even with Lovestruck's come with some kind of Art Deco type furniture, and it has some swatches that I have, color swatches where I've seen those colors throughout these modern kind of Art Deco revival builds that I was looking at for references. But yeah, the Vintage Glamour pack just has some really weird color schemes, really beautiful furniture pieces. Well, some of them are beautiful. The bed's quite ugly. But yeah, so I was a bit disappointed. I obviously did use some Vintage Glamour stuff. Oh, this here, I really like the flamingo feature here. I think that's quite cool. Flamingos seem to be like a feature in Art Deco, just interior design. When I was looking at more kind of classical Art Deco stuff, flamingos did appear quite a lot, so I thought I would kind of pull them into this build as well. Yeah, so with Vintage Glamour, yeah, not the biggest fan of the swatches in that pack. The neutral swatches are good and I'm able to use those. in a couple of areas, but like there's just really bright pinks, like super bright pinks, and the gold is like, the gold kind of accents on things are really like yellow gold. The blue I think is like a super like, yeah, bright blue, whereas I think a nice blue is actually the blue that's on those tiles that are in the dining room, the ones that came with Deco to the Max. That has some really nice color swatches. It's just a shame that some of that furniture is just so out there. Like I feel like even the bright colors look nice, but then it's just got these like really wacky patterns on them, or the metal accents on the furniture is just weird and doesn't match. And funnily enough, I actually bought that pack because I was like, I need some more Art Deco furniture. I had a look at the screenshots of, or even in-game, you know, how you can have a look at different packs and see what objects come with it. I had a look at that for Deco to the Max, and I was like, oh, you know what, this actually looks like it has good Art Deco styled furniture in it. And then I start trying to use it, and it's just crazy, like trying to get the couch and the chair that comes with it to look decent together. I don't even think I use the couch at all, but I do use the chair because it has a really nice blue swatch. But it's just a shame that that blue swatch is so good, but there is really nothing else in the game that has that blue swatch. Because yeah, if there was more stuff in that blue swatch, I would have been using that blue swatch all over this house. So I just kind of settled for the blue swatches that I think looked all right. So yeah, this house is huge. There's a lot of room. So you can see up here, I've kind of split up the upper level, the second story a bit, and I've created like the seating area. It's just a bit random. So there are a few kind of random spots around the house like this where it's just a place to kind of sit and hang out, maybe do some reading, just kind of trying to make use of dead space really. And I did want to, because I said at the start that I think this family is kind of artistic, has some kind of creative, creative, they're a bunch of creatives. I did want there to be a lot of artwork around, and so a lot of artwork on the walls, not super cluttered, but I wanted a lot of the kind of the blank walls to have some sort of art feature on them. I really made use of these cushions too. I love these cushions. I think they're really handy to have, but I feel like they wouldn't really be much use to anyone who doesn't use Tool, or at least Move Objects, because they don't slot to couches. Couches don't have slots on them, so you have to have Move Objects on to put them into place. I think anyway. I play with Move Objects on by default because I use the Better Build by mod by, I think it's Twisted Mixie. And so I'm always just able to move the pillows freely, or the cushions. But I'm not sure how it would work in the vanilla game. But even with just Move Objects on, if you move the cushions into place, they just stand up pretty much vertical, like they look stupid. So really the only way to get them to look good is to adjust them with the Tool mod. So have them kind of tilt back a little bit so they rest up against a like the back of a chair or something. But otherwise, yeah, I feel like if you don't use that mod, then they're not really that useful. But they're really good. I love the swatches that came with the ones with Modern Luxe. Is it Modern Luxury or Modern Luxe? I think it's Modern Luxe. And also a cushion came with the login rewards system, and that one matches a lot of the kind of the existing base game furniture swatches, which is nice too. But it just adds a bit more detail to couches and living rooms, and rooms in general. Makes them look a little nicer. So here's like just some brief footage of the, I guess the shared bathroom on the second floor. So I'm just trying to think, have I done anyone's bedroom yet? No, I haven't. I just had to go and look at the footage that I've just been talking over to see if I've done anyone's bedroom, so I can actually say who is on what floor. So Olivia and her parents and Grandma Vivian are on this floor, and this is Olivia and Grandma Vivian's bathroom. It also has like a little laundry off it as well, because I found it really difficult to kind of find a place for the laundry. So I just made like a little laundry room that you have to walk through to get to the bathroom, the shared bathroom. And then on the upper level is, or the top story is, Grandpa Dennis, and there is a spare bedroom up there as well. So here I'm actually moving on to Olivia's room. So I've kind of done the initial, I've chosen the wall patterns and the flooring. Her room is very purple, yellow, and maybe some pink. Yeah, some pink, because the curtains are pink. And like I wanted her room to look really nice, and I wanted it to look like a kid's room, but then again, like I also wanted it to look tidy. Like there is some clutter and kids' furniture. I didn't want to put anything on the walls, because I feel like these walls are quite ornate, or they are nice. Like it's a nice wall pattern, and so I feel like her parents wouldn't really let her stick up like a random poster or picture or anything like that. And so yeah, I didn't put any wall paintings on there. I feel like just the walls in themselves are enough for the room to look detailed. But she does get a lot of nice furniture. So she's got like this seating area here with a TV. I do give her, a soft toy to play with. There is a desk for her to do her homework. There's a dollhouse. And for all the bedrooms, I kind of did this thing where I built in the cabinets, or the clothing, the dresses into, like, I wanted it to look like built-in units. So I did this thing where I guess placed some end tables together with a dresser and a couple of tall boys or tall dressers on either side. And that was really just to fill up the space, to make the room look like it wasn't so empty. And I kind of do that with every bedroom, I'm pretty sure. Has this kind of feature where it's a bunch of either dressers and a wardrobe, or some end tables and a dresser. So you can see the type of cluttering that I'm doing here, and this is just a kind of, I guess, another demonstration of the type of cluttering that I'm probably going to start doing in my builds, where it's more or less minimally cluttered. So there's a shelf, a couple of shelves with a couple of things on them, and then just some bits and pieces on the dressers, but yeah, nothing too cramped. Now we're moving on to Grandma Vivian's room, and her color scheme that I chose, or the color scheme that I chose for her room, is very unusual, and I really liked the kind of it's almost like an olive green and gold wallpaper that came with Vintage Glamour. That's one of the few swatches that I actually like from that pack, and I paired it up with some red and some dark brown, and I think it looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's not like olive green and yellow. It seems quite old-fashioned. I think that's why I like it, because it's an old-fashioned kind of color scheme. And when I just started putting it together in Vivian's room, it just came together really well. And yeah, so I was quite pleased with this, because to be honest, when I got to her room, I didn't even know what to do, like what kind of color schemes. But when I was looking through the Vintage Glamour swatches for the wallpaper, I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to try and use this. And yeah, it surprisingly worked quite well. In each person's room, I try and give them an activity to do. I think the only room that doesn't really have an activity is the master bedroom, so for the parents, which I believe is coming up soon. But for Grandma Vivian, I wanted to give her knitting, so I've given her a rocking chair, and then I placed some knitting stuff next to it. And I mean, it's got just the standard, got a couple of chairs. I give her a radio as well. And then she's got a bookcase as well, and a mirror, and just putting in a teeny tiny bit of clutter next to her, on her nightstand there. And I also put in, because she's a family oriented sim, so I put in like a little decorated plate there too. Just to, you know, maybe Olivia did that for her, and so she keeps it on display in her bedroom. Just fixing up the dresser there to make sure it is aligned and kind of looks seamless as possible. So now moving on to the master bedroom, and you can see I've already done the wallpaper, but yeah, and this is the second time around that I actually did it. I wanted to go for like the deep emerald green and pink because I'd seen some reference photos of these two colors together that looked really nice, but I just could not get them to work very well with the swatches that are in the game. I feel like the greens just need to be a little deeper, like that wardrobe that I tried to do there, or even this one here. It has the right tone, or right color, but it needs to be a bit darker. And I don't know, maybe I just needed to play around with the swatches a bit more, but I just wasn't able to get it to work. So I tried with blue, and even then I couldn't get that to look very good. I mean, these are all my opinions. Maybe you think it looks good, but to me, personally, I didn't think it looked that nice. So I made the furniture more neutral, and I think in the end it goes to like the cream color, and then the middle wardrobe is yellow. So that yellow there, I think how it is now is how it's going to stay. But you can see I tried a whole bunch of different colors, but this room does have a good chunk of the pink and blue color scheme in it. I think maybe the issue that I was kind of experiencing is from the wallpaper that I used. Like it's very patterned, and it's quite an intricate pattern. Whereas the reference photos that I was looking at where these color schemes were used, the walls were all flat, like it was just a painted wall. So that might have been the issue that I was experiencing, and why I couldn't just get things to work fully the way that I wanted. But I chose this wallpaper because it looks really Art Deco, like the arches and the geometry. So I did really want to use it, and I wanted the wallpaper and the wall just coverings that I used, I wanted it to be consistent throughout the house. So if there was going to be if I was going to use this wallpaper here with the arches on it, then I wanted it to be in a few other rooms as well, so things just looked a little more consistent. And yeah, I guess that's why I stuck to it and didn't really go with a more like a flat wall, like a paint or something. But then another annoying thing is that I like painted walls to have like molding, or at least a skirting on the bottom. And some of the paints that I looked at that actually I really wanted to play around with, they didn't have any skirtings on them. They were just like blank walls, and I think that sometimes that looks a bit funny. Like it's not really common to see in a house a painted wall that just goes right down to the floor. There's usually some sort of barrier, even if that barrier, like the skirting, there's usually some sort of skirting. And even if that wall is one color, it won't be like just painted right to the floor. There'll be a skirting on it that is painted the same color as the wall. So it is a bit frustrating that the paint swatches don't have skirtings on them, or even like moldings like scotias up the top. So yeah, that's kind of why I stayed away from just plain paint. Maybe for some modern builds I might go with those paints, but I don't know, I feel like they look a bit funny. So yeah, we will see. This is the bathroom. I don't really show much of it because this is the initial kind of go of the bathroom that I did. I actually thought I took this footage out, but I mean, it's here, so I'm going to talk over it a little bit. I tried to do like an enclosed shower that was surrounded by windows so that you could see inside it. I tried to have two showers, but they didn't quite fit. And in the end, I just did like a half wall with a window on it, just to kind of shield the shower a bit. But it's not exactly how I wanted it to be. But in the end, I think it came together all right. It's a very oddly shaped bathroom, and that's just because of the curved walls that I added to the build itself. there are a few curved walls that I added. I don't even think I said that at the start. I think I just started rambling on about something else, but I did add quite a few additional curved walls to the building, to the structure or the shell, and this is one of them. So and that's just to kind of give the building more of an Art Deco feel and make it look more interesting from the exterior, so that there's not just giant tall flat walls, so that there's a little bit of I don't know, just things that make it look more interesting. So yeah, that's the master bathroom, the ensuite bathroom. It also has a walk-in closet between it. You don't really see that. You might see some of it in the screenshots, but it's really not that interesting. So now we're on the 3rd floor, and this is like, I guess, a bar or a formal room. I did want there to be a space for them to kind of throw parties and have guests, and they can play music and stuff. So I thought about putting a bar. Well, I thought about it. I did. I put a bar upstairs, and I thought it would be like, I thought maybe doing it all in the dining room, and that would have filled out the dining room a bit, but they've got a 3-story house and it actually has really good views. So I thought, you know what, it actually would be a pretty cool place to bring guests up to the 3rd floor and they can party. And they would have these amazing views out the window. I feel like that is quite high end, if you ask me. So I made this little bar space here. I mean, you would have seen that the room initially was huge, but I did shrink it down a little bit, and now I'm just playing around with the color schemes. So this one I kind of struggled with a bit, and then I was going to go blue and pink, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to change things up a teensy bit and go green and pink. And that was just by chance. I was looking for patterned wallpapers, and then there was this base game one with leaves on it, and that actually looked quite good with the pink because it actually has some pink with it. But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say after that. I lost my train of thought a little bit. Anyway, so just filling out this room here, and these wainscoting? These things that came with decor to the max look really, really good. A bit of a shame that they only have like wall pieces. They don't have corner pieces or anything like that. So, and they're only one tile, so you kind of can't decorate an entire room with them because it'll look weird against like I couldn't put it, for example, up against the arches because the arches are 2 tiles wide. So, but it's nice to be able to do it on one wall and at least have it kind of like a feature in one room, on one of the walls. And it looks pretty good up against the wall there with the fireplace and the cabinets and the chairs as well. I also put in a divider up on the right hand side there, and then I used these lamps that came with Love Struck. I've heard quite a few, like I have been watching some build videos, and I've heard some, or even no, actually I watched, it was reviews of Love Struck because I wanted to see what actually came with the pack. And yeah, there were some complaints about what came with Love Struck, but I think it's so good. The color swatches, at least anyway, some of them are really, really good. And these really, I get what they were going for with the color swatches, like these deep colors that kind of have romantic vibes to them. And these these ceiling lights here with the shades on them, just kind of, I guess, accentuate the romantic theme. Yeah, but I really like them. They've got really nice red colors, and I think even a green swatch as well. But I just used the pink one here just to kind of, tie in with the rest of the pink stuff that I was doing. So yeah, I'm adding in some cushions, and then I've got another couple of flamingos up here. I actually really like this little room here. I think it's quite cool. I was playtesting this house, and Eric Lewis came up here immediately and turned on the stereo and was having a little boogie in here. So you can see me do like initial placements of clutter and decor. But later on, kind of when I finished the build, I just went through the house quickly and just did some little tidy ups. and one of the things I did was kind of rearrange the decorations in that room. Now you would have seen that the room that I sectioned off between the bar and the hallway, I decorated that, but I hated it. Like, I hated what I did. It was one of the rooms where I put it together, and then I didn't even, I completely cut out the footage of me doing the initial build, because this video is already an hour long, so I didn't want to waste any time kind of showing you how I decorated a room, and it doesn't even stay like that. So you'll catch glimpses of it here and there, but you'll really only see it when I come back to recolor the stuff in there. And I think that is now. Yes, it is now. No, it isn't actually. You can no, actually, I know what I was doing there. I was going around it and doing some swatches, and then I was like, I actually like these swatches better, but I'll come back and do it later. So really, I should have cut that out. But there was so much footage for me to look through. I think I had in total about, I don't even know, probably close to 16 hours of footage for this, and I've managed to condense it down to what I can see now. This video is 58 minutes, so I had a lot of footage to condense, and the video is sped up a little bit faster than what I usually do. Usually I do 6 times speed, but this one is 7 times speed. When it was 6 times, it was over an hour, and I didn't want the video to be over an hour. I feel like that might be a bit off-putting for some people. I try and avoid making videos over an hour. I just feel like, when you see a video that's an hour, and well, for me anyway, I feel like, oh, can I commit that much? So I kind of do that trick where if it's not an hour, but it's 58 minutes, so those 2 minutes less might be a little more enticing to people. I think that's like the trick when things are like 99 cents. It looks better than $1. Like that's some sort of sales trick or whatever. That's kind of what I did with this video. I was like, you know what, an hour does not look good. 58 minutes looks better. Now we're up to Grandpa Kim's bedroom here. Grandpa Dennis's room. His room, I really like the color scheme for his room as well. Like, it's green, it's got some orangey kind of wood tones that I complement with some orange couches. His bed also has green and orange on it as well, so that was nice that I was able to find some good swatches that matched it. He is really neat, and he's also an outdoorsy sim, so I gave him this thing here, the bonsai shrub that he can trim. But he's also, I think, is he neat, or is he I think he's a perfectionist. So his room, I wanted it to be super tidy. Not that there's been much mess around the place so far, but like I wanted his room to look really, really, really neat. So not much clutter at all. Things are very orderly. Even though he has like a hedge or a bonsai tree in his room, like that must get pretty messy, but I'm sure he promptly cleans it up when he's done. But yeah, you can see his room is just is quite tidy. Giving him a laundry basket, and the lights here, I actually, here you'll see me just go around and change some of the lights, because I actually liked these wall sconces better than the ones that I was using. So you'll see some more of the house, maybe some bits that I haven't been able to show on the footage as I go around and replace the lights. And now this is the 3rd floor bathroom. So this is Dennis's bathroom, and I used the tiled wall that came with high school years. It's got like a nice Art Deco pattern on it, and I used the floor from the Cozy Bistro pack that's got like a nice floor with it, so I used the white swatch for that one. And it's a very small bathroom, but it has a sectioned off shower. So it's just got the usual toilet, sink, and then there's a separate space for the shower there. And I don't know what I was doing around the house here. I think I was just looking for some toilet paper to eyedrop. And there's just on the end here, there's a little bit of clutter just to fill up this end. I could have done 2 showers in this one, but really it's only Dennis on this floor, so it didn't really make sense for there to be 2 showers. Perhaps if Eric and Alice were on this floor, then I would consider putting 2 showers in there, but they've got the bedroom on the 2nd floor. So one of the tricks that I do here is with these curtains that came with, is it the Desert Luxe kit? Because some of the wood swatches, you know, they've got a few different wood swatches depending on the color of the curtain that you actually use, and I wanted more control over the wood swatches that were above the curtains. So what I did was I just moved the beams of the curtains over. What did I do? I sized up the beams a little bit, and I moved the curtains down and then placed the sized up curtains over the sized up beams over the curtain to kind of cover the swatch that I didn't want to use. I hope I explained that well, but I used Tool for that, and yeah, it just means I had a bit more freedom with the wood swatches that I could use with those curtains. This is the spare room here, so it's kind of like a guest bedroom. It's not really, it's sparsely decorated, like there's not much clutter in here or anything, and that's because no one sleeps in here, so I didn't want to like go all out with the decorating in this room. So it's very simply decorated. So yeah, just a bookshelf and really typical kind of bedroom stuff. So I guess, you know, if they have anyone stay over, they could stay in this room. I do put an art easel in there too. And oh, here's this room here where I'm coming and recoloring it. So you can get a good look at it. So it's the room between the bar and the hallway. And then I just put the easel up in the bedroom. That footage went by so fast. I'm sorry if that was too fast for you, but yeah, it's just, oh, this video yeah, is so long. I'm surprised I've been able to talk for as long as I have, but yeah, here I am just going and adding in some more curtains to the hallway there. I did take out the windows that were off the stairs because the curtains didn't look like they would fit there very well, and I'm just going through the house and adding in a few more extra details, just kind of rearranging stuff a little bit. This is kind of like I went through, I'd finished the build and I just, well, the interior, and then I just went through and did like a quick tidy up of the rooms. Now I'm back to, oh no, I have not finished the interior. I'm back to the kitchen, and you can see what I initially did with the cabinet. So it was a very blue kitchen, and I was kind of inspired to do that from some reference photos where the kitchen was more or less, even the wall, like the walls and the cabinets, even the appliances were all the same color with just like bronze accents on them. Couldn't quite pull it off in game, so I just went for I guess like a typical kitchen, and they've got like a little seating area in there as well. There's a microwave and a dishwasher in the, like I actually came back and I moved the microwave because it's on the edge right there, but I put it in the corner. And then I've got these shelves up here. The playtesting, because I've put a pot on the stove there in playtesting, I realized that it caused routing issues, so I did come back and move that pot. Well, it's still there. I didn't move it, I just sized it down and moved it a little tiny bit, but yeah, Sims can use it, no issue now. And there is one bathroom downstairs, and it's just off the living room. Now I'm working on the exterior, and this is where initially it was all pink, but I just added some blue to some of the curved parts of the building. Now I'm adding in some chimneys, because I do like my builds to have chimneys. I like the fireplaces to be realistic, where if there is a fireplace, there is going to be a chimney behind it. So I'm just kind of adding those onto the building now, choosing a... and I changed the color of the windows too. So initially they were just like white, but I changed it to a swatch that had like an orange trim on it. So the exterior of the house is blue, pink, and a little bit of orange. And I added some like proper chimney pieces to the tops of the chimneys there. Now, I really liked their, so I get like, this is the thing, I like their sunken garden, I like the idea of it, and I was thinking about keeping it. I did experiment putting a pool off to the side of the building, but I just feel like a pool looks so much better where I put it, and so I had to say goodbye to the sunken garden. But I really did want to keep it. I think it's an interesting idea, and so I was a bit disappointed to get rid of it, but it was just a better place for a pool. But for the landscaping outside, and I guess what I'm doing here, again, kind of bringing in curves that I'd done with the building, and bringing them in the pool space. And so it's just like a sunken space with a pool. I didn't fill up the entire sunken space with the pool, because I have done that before in previous renovations of this house that I've done, which were a very, very long time ago, and they weren't, like, I don't even know what they would have looked like, but like, I feel like that place was almost made for a pool, and I like the sunken garden idea as creative, like a creative thing to do, given that pools weren't around when this game was first released. But it is better suited to a pool now. Like, I admit defeat with the sunken garden idea, but maybe I could do that in another house, who knows. So with the landscaping, I've got these little hedges everywhere, and this is to make it look, make the garden look more organized and I guess high end. I did look at some gardens on Art Deco houses, and some of them did have like really organized features to them, like with little shrub hedges and all that. And then I added in some trees, and for the landscaping, because I want my builds to kind of fit into the world, I don't want them to like stand out or anything like that. Stand out like in a good way, but for the landscaping I wanted it to look like almost seamless with the world, so I only used base game landscaping for this build. So yeah, and that just keeps things more consistent with the rest of this neighborhood. So I'm doing some hydrangeas, and I've got these trees in these little hedge squares. Okay, now my voiceover is starting to fail, but there isn't much left to talk about because I'm almost finished. But yeah, I can say that this was just I don't even know how I made it. To be honest, there were times when this build, especially when I did the initial renovation, I was like, I hate this. I was like, do I even want to renovate this house? Do I just want to bulldoze it and start again? But I'm glad I persevered, because I'm pleased with what I've put together. Is it my favorite renovation that I've ever done? Probably not. But I like what I was able to do with the house. I'm glad I chose like an Art Deco theme, because I could have gone with just, kept it modern and done that. But the house kind of just screamed to me Art Deco. And so, I just went with that theme. So for the furniture, exterior furniture with the outdoor furniture, we've got some lounge chairs, just some seating areas by the pool, except I moved those up by the garden there. There's one or a couple of chairs, no, one chair with a table, and we've got a couple of those potted plums as well. Potted palms. And then there is a seating area or a dining area. And of course I put like a barbecue and a table and chairs. You'll see me do it in a minute, but there is a space for the garden. So the original build does have a garden like an actual garden for gardening, the gardening skill. And I do keep that as well. It's just in the kind of the stony terrain paint that I've used off the side of the building. So you'll see me get to that in just a minute. I'm just adding in a few more bits and pieces to this part, and then here we go. Here I come and put in some planters and just a few other decorative items to make it look like it's used. And then of course some lights around the place. So we're about to head into the screenshots, and I can't believe I've been talking for as long as I have. I have taken a couple of little breaks. I hope you didn't notice, but yes, we are at the end. So I'm going to say thanks so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to bring this to you. Was this a pleasure to renovate? Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, but I got there in the end. If you made it to the end of this video, thanks so much. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, just I am really grateful. This build is available to download on the gallery. My gallery ID is minosimu_NZ. I will let you enjoy the rest of your day and say take care, and I will talk to you later.